Yes, we are live.
Okay. Assalamualaikum everyone. Assalamualaikum Babaji. Everyone, welcome to Khud, Aagahi. And this is a very awaited episode. And the topic is love and marriage. A few people requested that Zarnab we do this, and I was like, okay, we will. And so I actually researched a lot before writing down the questions. I I'm pretty sure I like even sent you like a few links that I saw on the topic when like relating to like writing questions. So first we're gonna talk about love, and then we'll talk about marriage, and then we'll talk about how like those two like go together. Okay.
Sure.
So the first question, as usual, we're starting off difficult. Well, I guess not that difficult for you, as usual. What do you think love is? How exactly would you describe it?
I mean, I could not. First of all, thank you very much, Zarnab, for inviting me once again. And it's pleasure to be with you, and especially on this topic. I mean, a very, very topic for me also. Come again. I mean, I could only hear half of your question, the later part of your question. Could
Okay,
you please
I can repeat it. What do
Yeah.
you think love is? How exactly would you describe it as?
Okay. Love in general is to me, because we have emotions. Being human beings, we have emotions, and our emotions based on so many variety of things. Our emotions make us feel certain things, and when the intensity of certain emotions towards certain things increases to a level which is beyond likeness,
Mm-hmm.
we feel that probably we are in love with something. I mean, that could be people, that could be things, that could be anything. So to me, it is the intensity of certain emotions, or or the attachment which we will have to different things.
A very almost logical answer you can say, where like some people say that love is like illogical. You're supposed to like not understand anything.
So
Okay.
love is very, very logical. We have to understand that our emotions, they are different intensities or different levels of our emotion mean something to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are in this conversation right now, and probably some people, they are liking this conversation. They are liking this
Mm-hmm.
conversation because they can relate to certain things, or probably they like me or you or both of us, or they are not liking anything because they don't like the environment, or you see what we are talking about,
Mm-hmm.
or they cannot relate to it. So this is plus or minus, but this is your emotional attachment to certain things. And when we say we are liking something, it means that it is not that intense. But when
Mm-hmm.
we say that we are loving it, it means that it is intense, and now it has crossed a certain degree or certain level, and it is with everything, anything and everything. So I think this is very, very logical for everybody to understand.
Okay. Nice answer. Next question. How does like one know that they're in love? Like the romantic love.
No, when we talk about romanticism, I think first we need to understand that there is no particular romantic category of love. Love is just love. And when it comes to liking somebody from the opposite gender,
Mm-hmm.
then I think we have to categorize people in different age groups. And then their feelings as per their age groups would definitely vary and change. Now, if we are talking about teens, because when we are in our teenhood, our emotions are anyhow about certain things or shaping up. or those emotions are very new to us. We are feeling them for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens is that when being a teen, I look at the other gender, and then this person in particular has uh, certain traits, certain qualities, or certain facade of, you see, this person. I mean, the appearance
Mm-hmm.
which I like, and this likeness is being fueled by uh, my situation being in this very tender age, where all my uh, emotions, especially towards other genders, are just shaping up. They are very raw. They are intense anyway, and
Mm-hmm.
this is why most of the times we in our early age we like someone, and then we misinterpret, thinking that probably we are in love with this person. uh,
Mm-hmm.
we do not really understand that where to put this mark which tells us that this is misalignment, this is infatuation, this is love, and so on and so forth. But with guidance, with experience, and as we grow, now we can differentiate between those different levels. And to me, uh, romanticism is anyway uh, it becomes part of your love story,
Mm-hmm.
because now we are talking about two genders
Mm-hmm.
fairly attracted towards each other, and then the way we manifest our emotions towards other genders, that is
Mm-hmm.
what we call, you see, romanticism. And then
Mm-hmm.
it has uh, different manifestations and different ways to be depicted for others and for us.
Okay. So like you think like age is like a a big factor in it to like
Age is a
understand
big
what
factor. Age is a big factor in everything. And I would say, if we want to somehow supersede age, or if we want somehow our age to be less relevant in certain in these contexts, then we have to raise our kids and we have to educate our kids in a manner that they know things beforehand.
beforehand. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And this is not about love only and marriage only, it is about everything in life. If we are able to do that, one can very easily sail through different phases of life. And that, of course, entirely includes this topic of love and marriage.
Okay. Okay, so the next question was related to what we already asked. It was, do you think a person has to be of a certain age to fall in love, or do you think it's rather a person's maturity that matters more than age?
I think maturity is honestly, if you ask me, maturity is something which you can gain in very early age.
Exactly. I
Of
I
course,
agree with that.
yeah, because maturity is not something which is bound to be striking you in certain age only. Normally, we expect
Mm-hmm.
a common man to hit the maturity levels after, you see, 25 and between 35. Now, this is the bracket where we expect a person to hit certain level of maturity. But I would argue, I would say that this person who we expect to become mature by the age of 25, and then we wait another 10 years, this person is not being given the right guidance probably, or this person is not being given the right circumstance to get mature early. Otherwise, the same person could have been a lot mature in the age of 12, in the age of 13, in the age of even 8. It was just that you had to speed up things for this person, and you could only do that by inviting this person or asking this person to indulge in certain activities. And
Mhm.
those activities, as I always say, should and must include your interaction with your elders. And your elders, they have probably the greatest responsibility, and that responsibility is to remain honest.
Teach.
Yes, I mean, yes, they have to teach, but I mean, if I want to teach something and I am not honest, and I am
Mm.
somehow not brave enough to talk about things which I have to talk today, then what will happen is that I would delay certain things, and I would delay certain guidance to be given to my children or my youngsters, and as a result of my uh, weakness,
Hesitancy.
all this weakness or complacency, certain things will not get to my children on time.
Mhm.
This would cause them to get to their maturity levels in different areas a lot later than what they should have if they were given the right guidance beforehand.
Agreed. I agree on that very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next question. What do you think it takes to love someone? Like, what do you think it would take?
Purity, honesty. Uh, if you are not a pure person and you think that you are in love, you are wrong. And I'm sorry for hurting you. But I simply do not believe that a heart which is not pure can actually brew love. Because love is a very, very pure
Innocent
part of
love.
your emotional attachments. And this purest of the emotions, how come you expect this purest of the emotions to take place or to take roots in a place which is filthy, which is full of dirt, which is full of uh, impurities? So, if you are somehow a liar, if you are
Mhm.
somehow a person um, who is deceitful, a person who mingles things up for no particular reason, a person without very, very clear viewpoint towards life and our existence. I mean,
Mhm.
all that actually matters for you to remain pure. If you do not
Mhm.
have, I would urge you to ask uh, Jasia to get out of the room, if
She's
possible.
not in the room.
Ah, she's outside. That's
She's
wonderful.
outside. That's the thing. She's extremely outside.
Okay, okay. Uh, so I would say that don't talk about love if you are not an honest person, if you do not
Yeah.
have the integrity, if you do not have
The
the courage.
morals,
Yeah,
values.
if you lack morals, then you have to question your every sentiment of yours, every emotion of yours, and that of course mainly. It talks about love or indicates towards you being in love. So, no love for those people who do not know what purity is and how to actually brew that purity in you. It is a continuous process where man or woman, girls and boys, they have to struggle, strive. This is not something which is gifted to you just like that. It is something you have to strive to get to, and this is something which you have to take pain to get to. And this is something where you have to struggle a lot. Why? Because in somehow I would say that this is probably in our nature that we get affected by our environment and our
Mhm.
surroundings, the people we live in. Somehow we have come to a place in our history where,
Mhm.
or at least in our history of our society, let's not talk about the rest of the
Global.
world. Yeah,
Yeah.
in our society, we are just filthy people. Why? Because we do not believe in being truthful. We do not believe in honesty. We do not believe. We
Mhm.
say that. But when it comes to implementation, we are the weakest.
Mhm.
And we do not, in our hearts, we do not believe that truth is going to reap us any benefit. And this is why I would say, of course, not all of us. We have good people among us also, but most
Mhm.
of us are just like that. And this is the reason that our society is littered with corruption. Our society is littered with corrupt practices. And those corrupt practices are now, you see, taking on the lives of our kids. They are living their life without morals. They do not know why we should be who we are, and why we are what we are. I mean, they do not have the answers for the basic questions of identity. I mean, there is
They
this
don't
great.
know who they are, no? They're like still seeking that. 1 second, I have to quiet down just here.
So, of course, you must do that.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think like that's one of the things that like people have to figure out in life, not that who they are, like what their identity is, and then like everything is within, as you've taught me
This
that like
paramount. This is paramount. This should be of paramount in importance in our lives, because I tell you, people of my age, even elder than my age, I have seen them suffering from this identity crisis. Now, if our kids, they do not recognize who they are, if they do not acknowledge who we are, and if they do not know why those principles, those values, and those moralities are important in person's life, I tell you, probably rest of their life they will suffer, because this is something which I believe must be implemented, must be inculcated, must be infused in the children before the age of their adulthood. I mean, before 18,
yes, they
children,
should know who they are. Yeah,
they
agreed.
must know who we are. They must have the identity very, very clear. They must have the morals very, very clear,
Agreed.
deeply embedded, rooted in their personalities. And then only they, of course, now their maturity itself cannot be questioned, because a person has gained this uh, uh, level of recognition through identifying, you see, who I am. This tells you that this person has gotten to the first level of maturity anyhow. Why?
Yes.
Because the people of
Also, like knowing yourself is so important. Also, like if you like, you've taught me this to like question everything about me, and like even like the tiniest question can reveal so much about you. Like, okay, why do I like this specific color? Like, is there a reason behind it? And then you figure out, oh, this color is associated with being positive, etc. And so like you learn so much about yourself from like asking yourself questions. And I definitely think that knowing yourself is extremely important in life. So, hey,
right.
next question. What's the difference between infatuation and love? How would someone differentiate between the two?
I think I can get into the deeper, or probably the deepest part of this question, which I don't want to. Why? Because I think my audience wants a very, very clear cut and not profound answer,
Mm-hmm.
rather a very, very plain answer. And the plain answer is, when your intentions are filthy, it is infatuation.
Mm,
Ask yourself,
okay.
if
Okay.
I like a girl, being a teen or being whatever age I am in, and I think that I am allowed to have probably dating with this person, probably physical relation with this person, or anything and everything which my religion, my morals, my values do not allow me to,
Mm-hmm.
I think that I am allowed to, it is fatuation. This is clear infatuation. And
Mm-hmm.
if I think that no, this person has a respect, and this person has to be respected, and this person has to be treated in a manner that tomorrow, this whatever connection I am feeling, this connection is going to be interpreted into something respectable. I think it is love. If you
Mm-hmm.
do not find respect for other person and the dignity of this person, how come you claim this as
Love.
something pure? This is not pure. If it is
Agreed.
pure,
Yeah.
because I can tell you that when I liked your mother and I fell in love with her, I did not want to even touch my finger to her because I knew that I want to marry this girl. And I wanted the whole world to know before you see anybody else knows that I want to marry this girl. I simply do
Mm-hmm.
not want to meet this girl, or I do not want to date this girl, or I simply do not want to
Exactly.
talk to this girl. But I wanted this girl and the whole world to know that how pure my intentions are. I want to make this girl my wife and the mother of my kids. And now she is your mother. And the
Mm-hmm.
same goes for your next mother.
Mm-hmm.
Your intentions. Your intentions would tell you, and your actions on those intentions would tell you whether or not it is love. And
Perfect.
I think we can very well examine ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay. So the next question. What are your thoughts on the statement, I couldn't stop myself from loving them? Basically, do you think people have control over who they fall in love with? Or is it like something that a person can be in control of?
Certain things, when we talk about certain things and certain people, we do have control. And
Mm-hmm.
certain people and certain things we don't. This is the reality of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes you not it's and it's not about opposite gender only, or it's not about teens, or you see other people. It is in general.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you like people you have not even met and you have just seen somewhere, and you feel this very positive vibrations about them, you, and you do not know why. There are different theories about that. We don't get into them, but I just wanted to give example that this happens to so many people, including me and you. Now, the same thing happens when two opposite genders they attract each other. Sometimes you build on this likeness with certain people and eventually reach to a conclusion that you actually love this person. But I tell you, whether it is just a likeness which is going to be evolving as love, or it is an instant likeness which you are interpreting as love, the criteria for verification remains same. If I am purely in love with opposite gender, I have to ask myself whether I want my emotional needs to be fulfilled, or I want my emotional needs to be only fulfilled through legal and acceptable means. It it could be religious, it could be social, it could be value based. I mean that depends, but I would say it should include all of them. And then if you think that you are a person who wants your attraction, or your because your attraction means that there are certain needs. And
Mm-hmm.
if we're talking about men, for them it is mostly physical. And if we are talking about women, it is emotional.
Emotional, yeah.
The, the bigger part, or the bigger chunk of this attraction for women is emotional because they are emotional beings, and for men it is physical. It does not mean that men they do not have emotions or emotionally they do not attach. It is just that the prominent part is their physical attraction, and for women vice versa. Now you ask yourself, in whatever criteria you are or you fall under, you ask yourself, do you want the other person to remain respectable not only in your eyes but for the rest of the people in the world? Ask yourself. If the answer is yes, then you examine your actions, whether or not whatever you are thinking you are implementing the same or not. If you do, it means that yes, it is something pure and it is something logical, and it can occur both ways. It can be something which will evolve slowly, and your very small amount of attraction can become a very very fatal attraction later. Very nice, no problem. This is how Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has created us, and we should accept all the natural things in us and not natural attractions. Men and women, they were created for each other. I mean, what's wrong in
The
that?
balance, yeah.
But the wrong is the wrong approach, because your flight is going to have a lot of turbulence and probably you are going to come nose down, straight nose down, because your approach was wrong. You did not even take off properly. Now, this is exactly what happens in our relationships. And then you can take this criteria or this example to your friendships, your other relationships of all types. Just ask, and the answer lies in your own brain and your own heart. You don't need to ask anybody else. Just be honest to yourself. You will have all the answers of all your questions.
Nice. Okay. So those were the questions for love. Now we're gonna talk about marriage. And as you know, me and like Nurapi, we were like discussing like that we're going to have this interview. And so we started talking on the topic, and we like both had like this one thing that we wanted your opinion on. It was, what do you think about, like, say there's like two like youngsters and they're still studying because they're maybe in like still in uni or college, but they're above 18, so like they can get legally like a nikah, and they want to be together. And so do you think that they should like be allowed to get a nikah and then like do the shadi and bit like a few years later when they're financially stable? What are your thoughts on that?
I would say as soon as you are legally allowed to get married, it means that you are legally allowed to get married.
Mhm.
Now, we have probably an upper layer to whatever legalities we have, and that upper layer is, Alhamdulillah, our religion, the religion of Islam, or whatever religion we fall under. I believe that the closest thing to a human is his or her belief system,
Mhm. Mhm.
not even the legal system. Legal comes later. Now, if my religion allows me or you to get married in a certain age, then there is no question, and this question should not be asked whether or not we are allowed to do that or not. I mean, you are already allowed, right? Now, the second part is important. The second part of this question could be, or probably is, that in my particular circumstance, because Zarnab, we have to understand that the age of 18, where you see legally and religiously and emotionally, we are well equipped to handle life and decide
Mhm.
on different life events, including, you see, who we partner with and how we partner with.
Mhm.
Now, this two 18 years people, the age of 18 years, two, three, four people, I mean, they are not same. Let's be honest. I mean,
Point.
some
Yeah.
years old people, they are very, very mature. You
Mm-hmm.
get them married at the exact age of 18, and they can take life as it is, and they can face all the challenges of life, and they can have children next year and no problem whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you think that you are that person, being a woman or being a man, I think the only question remains is, anyhow, if you are this person, then your parents would definitely would be the first people to know that you are this person who's mature enough to get married and have
Uh-huh.
children. I mean, simply tell them, ask them, get married, whether you are in college, uni, or wherever you are, you would definitely have a wonderful plan to tread this whole trajectory. So, no question about you going to do that. Now, talk about people who somehow are frustrated or
Mm-hmm.
confused even the basics of life, and they want to get married, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to get together.
Mm-hmm.
Now it means that these people, if they are allowed to get together without proper monitoring
Guidance.
or guidance, they are going to fall prey to decisions which they are going to regret later in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
This could be the decision of marriage, this could be the decision
Mm-hmm.
of dating, or just talking, or I don't know. It could be anything. But this
Mm-hmm.
decision, because in hindsight, we can understand that these people, they have reached the age of maturity, but they haven't understood what maturity is all about. Just
Okay.
getting to the age should not be enough for those people to be allowed to do whatever they want to do.
Hmm.
Who can decide for you? I mean, first of all, believe you me, and you know this, and every child listening to me and every adult who's listening to me, they all know this, that when we are somebody, whatever age we are talking about, it's not us who know. The people around us, especially
Around
our
us,
parents,
yes.
you know, like if you tell me
Because
today,
it will show. Yeah.
yeah, if you will tell me today that Baba, I am 18 and I want to get married,
Mm-hmm.
I should be the best person to know whether or not you are or you are not.
Mm-hmm.
And before me, you also know whether or not you should be doing this or not. Now, if
If
you
if I
know,
know myself, like, whereas like some of these
okay,
people, they don't even know themselves yet.
yes, if they do not know, then it is important for them that they consider some guidance or some mentoring or some questioning from their elders. I mean, their parents, their elder brothers and sisters, their cousins, and the people of wisdom in their family or in their schools or in their colleges. The people who others, they also consider that
Mm-hmm.
these people have some kind of wisdom and experience, and the people are not liars. They
Mm-hmm.
are already those people who somehow or you see littering themselves with all the wrong of life. Rather, these are the people who are trying to get rid of all the filth in life. Now, these are the people you can consult and you can ask them, and they will straight away tell you what you ought to do and what you not do. So this is not rocket science to understand. We all understand, and I tell you, even for those kids who are somehow confused, because Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has done you a favor here. He has given you a conscience, and this conscience is there to tell you that whatever you are thinking or whatever you are admiring or whatever you are getting attracted towards is right or wrong. It's just that you don't want to listen. You don't want to invoke,
Acknowledge it.
yeah, acknowledge and invoke this good side of yours, because you are afraid. Most of the people, they don't pray, they don't practice to become good people, because they fear that they are going to lose so many things which they are enjoying today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this happens to people of all ages, including people of my age and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we need to do is that be truthful to ourselves first. And once we become truthful to ourselves, we have almost half the answers of our life requires. You see, half half of our life's questions and
Mm-hmm.
answers are there with us, and rest is just very easy when this truthfulness gets somehow emitted,
Triggered.
and it surrounds other people also, it embraces other people also, and then you feel responsible for not only truthful to yourself but to truthful to others also, especially
Mhm.
your loved ones, your near and dear ones, your friends. And you see all those people, you know that they are truthful to you, you know that they truly care for you, you know that they truly love you. Now, why are you being very fake towards them? Why are
Mhm.
you very mischievous to her? I mean, this mischievous is a light word, but I mean, people, they are understanding what I'm talking about. No, so
Yeah.
that is what we need to ask. We need to ask and we need to make ourselves responsible, and we need to make ourselves accountable for what we think and what we do and what we act upon. And believe you me, every good thing starts from our inner self.
Great. So the next question is something that when I was writing these questions, I like asked your own son, "Do you have anything that could help? Like, do you want any question?" And then he asked, how to find the right person for marriage? Like, how would you find that person?" That was his
I mean, if you are a believer, and if you are a lover, and if you are a pure person, God has created this universe with certain science. And that science is that you attract what you believe in.
Yeah.
So it is very easy to attract the perfect spouse for you
Mhm.
by becoming very, very pure, like whatever you want. I mean, become that, embrace
Good
that.
answer. Very good
I
answer.
mean, if you are a wrong person, you are bound to
Because
get a
it's like
monster in your life or a bitch in your life. I
it's
mean, what
like
can I put it?
it's like what you seek will seek you as well, you know. So like if you start seeking something, it will seek you.
Very, very
So
natural. And it happens not only when we talk about spouses or you see partners, it is in everything.
mhm,
Whatever we are seeking is seeking
seek
us too. Whatever we are believing and we are acting upon is coming towards us anyway. In people, within people, or within things, but it will get us. So, all the bad people, why they are bound to find their destinies being bad, being worst of worst, because that is what they believed in their whole life, and this is what they attracted, this is what they acted upon, this is what they wanted actually. Now, if they have gotten this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised in Quran
mhm.
that people will have good wives, and the good wives and the good women will have good husbands. I mean, it is a rocket science to understand that if I am not a good person, I am never going to get a good wife anyway. Even if I get a good person as a wife, I am going to spoil this person to become bad as me, because I am
Mhm.
so profoundly into wrong that this wrong is going to make her wrong also. First of all, I'm
There's
not
like
going
it
to,
spreads.
I will get a good person anyway. I have to have myself very, very cleansed up, very, very purely purified to get to this person. So you will get this good person. I tell you, if you are a good person, if you are not a good person, don't ask for it. You don't deserve it.
Mhm.
First, you need to deserve, and then you need to desire. How do you desire, and how do you deserve? You first make yourself appealing to
Worthy.
people, and how you become appealing to those people. If I want a girl who does not lie and I am a liar, why she should be attracted towards me? She would never be. So I need to become desirable first.
for like
right?
what you want, first
I
like
want
become that yourself and then like
become that myself.
yeah.
Once I become that, believe you me, I will have so many pure people running after me that Mr. Tahir, we want you, or Zarnab, we want you, or you see all those guys listening, they will have their perfect spouses running after them. But what instead of doing that, what we are doing, we are trying to trap people. Trap. The word trap is a bloody negative word. You are trying to trap people into this pure love, so-called pure love. Now, this pure love has no traps. Understand this. This pure love has purity only, and this purity has no bounds. This will get to people all over the world, wherever they are. Probably they are on Mars and they will fly down to you.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. When do you think someone is ready for the responsibilities of marriage? When they're mature enough?
When they think that they are responsible enough, and they are taking care of the responsibility of themselves. Now, I can give you very basic tips to understand whether or not the person has become responsible for himself or herself. Number one is that this person, of course, this person has hit the age of maturity anyhow, or not maturity, adulthood, let's say. But this person does not know what to eat, what to speak, what to think, what to hanker after.
Very basic things.
Very basic things. What to hear, what to refuse, what to go near, what to stay away from. Choose. The choice has hardened to a level of some maturity or not, is a basic question. You have hit 18. Do you know 18 years have how many days? And can you calculate that in a jiffy? And then,
No, but I know it has to be more than 6,000.
no, I am not saying the calculation, mathematical calculation, but I am referring as a metaphor that do you think that you can calculate that whatever days those were mathematically, you have accumulated enough knowledge and understanding which you were actually required to gather? Have you? If you haven't, you have not taken the responsibility of yourself, my dear, yet. Let alone you are talking about taking the responsibility of others.
Someone else, yeah.
Someone else, forget about that. First, be responsible. Do you exercise?
That is a personal attack on me, Baba.
See, I mean, just eating food is, and the right food is not the answer to our health. What we speak, what we breathe, where we breathe, and do we exercise? Do we talk good? Do we blend with good people? Do we read good books? I mean, all those things matter. Those things are very small things. I mean, but they have all the good things waiting for you to embrace. Have you embraced them? I mean, you do not eat good. You do not sleep on time. You do not exercise. You do not talk to good people. You do not want to consult with the good people and the good books. You do not even invite the fair conversation with people because you want to hear the people of your choice only. And you do not want to hear those harsh realities of life which you know certain type of people will tell you. And you're not going to listen because you are afraid that probably you will fall prey to some kind of action on them. You are not. You have not taken the responsibility. First, get mature. Just getting to the age of 18 or 16 is not enough for you. You have to ask yourself. And I tell you, most of the time, the people who have become responsible by the age of 18, their parents and their elders, they tell them oh my God, you have already gotten to the level of maturity in the age of 18 that we consider to give you the whole, you see, province or state to take care of, not 1-2 persons. Now this is you who's manifesting your level of accepting the responsibility. You ask yourself very basic things. You would know.
Okay. I think we already know. I think we were already cleared this question, but do you think in the case of marriage that age is important? Is an important factor? No, it's not. We've already
No,
cleared that kind of.
age is important only till the age of adulthood. That's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously.
yeah, that's it. After that, no, age is not important. Maturity, responsibility, the level of perfection in your personality, damn important. Very important.
Okay. Next question is, what's advice you would give to the guys looking to get married? To like the men or the boys who are looking to get married?
I am very against, not very against, but I am against all those boys who remain boys and they do not become men. I want them to become
I know this about you.
yes, as soon as they are 18. I mean, if you ask me, I would tell all the 13, 14 years of, you see, age group of boys that you are no more boys. In the age of 17, Muhammad bin Qasim invaded Sindh and he created a system of administration by himself, by his knowledge, and by his own wisdom, not conquering the land only, but creating a whole system. How did he do that in the age of 17? Because if he was born in our age, he was not even adult yet. And he was able to take care of hundreds and thousands of people and their day-to-day life. So our ancestors, and probably examples are there in everywhere, in all the cultures of the world, in all the religions of the world, that there have been people who are in the age of 12, 13, 14, as soon as a boy become, you see, a man like, and some people they become early, some people they become later, exceptions aside. I think in the age of 15, like your brother, your younger brother in the age of 16, I mean, he should be a man now, and he's become a man. He's taken a responsibility. He knows that how to stand by his father, and this is exactly what your eldest brother did. Now, just by doing certain things will not qualify you to take the responsibility of marriagehood and the family. You have to attain this degree by qualifying for you see different things also. I mean, things which we have discussed earlier and things which we can discuss here also. Now, but for boys, I would tell them that first of all, understand that men, why they are called men. They are called men because they were created as protectors, not the destroyers. They were born to protect. They were not born to destroy. They were born to be brave, not to be weak. Men, they were born to be brave enough to stand in front of themselves first, so that the female who they are protectors to, they can learn the lessons from them. Oh, this is man. If the men they can do it, then we can also do it. So they should have become the examples for the other gender and for the fellow genders also. I mean, not gender. If they are not doing it, if their characters are not exemplary, if they are physically weak, they are mentally weak. And I believe weakness comes from weak characters, weak thoughts, weak dogmas, weak beliefs. And that weakness comes from of course, your society, your parents, your teachers, your elders, and of course, it runs in your genes also. Now we are somehow producing this weak generation. First of all, while men, they are not brave. If they are not brave, they cannot be called men. They can never be called men. They can call themselves whatever they want to call to, but I would not call them men. I would respect them as human beings. I would respect them as certain gender. But men, as it translates in my own eyes, I would not call them men. They will only become men when they act like men. And men, they are protectors. Men, they are brave. Men, they are fearless. Fear we are born with, but we have to defeat this fear. And we have to defeat all the fears in us. That is what men is all about.
Courage is like moving ahead even with that fear. Nah? So like
of course,
it's like not the absence of fear. It's like having that fear but still moving ahead with that fear.
I think I've been giving this quotation to so many people who know me, including you, that courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, but not the absence of fear.
Yes.
So you have to be courageous. And believe you me, the people who have courage, they can defeat any type of fear. And they can defeat anything and everything this life can bring forth for them as a challenge. No problem whatsoever. It's just that they have to understand that this resistance has to be put by me and me alone. Alone.
You have to build it. Yeah.
The world will come to rescue me only when I will put this on my own, and then the world will see that the resistance is being put forth by this person. The whole world will stand by you, they will stand behind you. Otherwise, you are not a man, and you have to work on your manhood, and you have to work on your fears, and you have to, yes, you have to understand the chemistry of fear and courage, and you have to defeat one by one all those fears you have. And I assure you, and I think in my life, this is what I have done all my life. One by one, I'm trying to defeat all the fears somehow in different periods of my life, whatever fears they haunted me. One by one, I am taking on those fears and I am trying to defeat them. So many of fears I have already defeated. So many fears I am fighting with today. And so many fears probably I do not know, but I am going to be fighting tomorrow. But I assure you one thing, that if I am a man and man enough, I would die fighting. No problem. Probably you are not able to defeat all your fears in whatever lifespan you have been awarded with, but you will be regarded as man who fought and, you see, went away fighting. Wonderful, you are a man. So become man first. And once you become man, believe you me, not only the other gender, but all the species in this world and all the seen and unseen forces will get attracted towards you. Because now you have become, or somehow you have personified the perfection of your gender. You are heading towards the perfection of your gender. Your creator has created you with certain qualities, and you have somehow evolved on those qualities. And this is what your created wanted, and this is what your being wanted you to create. Thus, as a result, everything else is going to be attracted towards you, including your family members, men around you, women around you, everything. And when you will speak, the people, they will have the feeling in their hearts. They would know that you speak the truth. They would know that you are a courageous person. They would know that you are a fearless person. And you know that you can take up any challenge and you can defeat and you can surmount that. That's it. You're a man. So become man is my advice to all the men, so-called if they have not become men. And the men who are actually men, I have great respect for them. I would tell them that somehow take this manhood, whatever you have created for yourself, and try distributing among all the youngsters. If you don't do that, it means that you are running away from another challenge. This is the challenge which we face today, that our young generations, they are weak, they are suffering, they are compromised generation. And we should not stop doing whatever we can do to get them, to rescue them out of this situation, and to create this wonderful generation out of them, which can tomorrow lead the whole world. And I personally believe, and I have believed this throughout my life, whatever people they say, that you are this generation, I am this generation. Because I believe that I'm not going to die until I see this happening in front of my own eyes. It means that we are probably, if this is to be true, that then we are probably the luckiest generations alive. This country was not created just to see this corruption and this whatever we are doing in this country and in our society and in our families. We have corrupted everything. And we have to understand that now we have burnt ourselves to ashes. Our nation has been burned. It has come down to ashes. And as I always say, that because if you want to become the phoenix, this is the time. You can be born out of your own ashes, and then you can rule the world. And world awaits you. I tell you, all the seen and unseen forces await you to get this rebirth out of your ashes. And you and me, we are bound to do that. We have to do that. If you do that, you are complete man, you are complete woman. If you entangle yourself, if you indulge yourself into the pettiest of the things life offers, then you are somehow wasting your lives. And this life was one time opportunity given to you. I am not going to waste it, nor I would advise you that you do that, nor I am going to let you do that. I will fight for you, and I want you to fight for yourself.
What a inspirational, motivational answer about. Okay, so now that we like cleared the guys and like the men, so what's some advice you would give to the girls who are looking to get married?
I want to tell girls that you are my sweet girls. I love you. Because every man, you can now hear in my sound, the voice has changed.
You're
Because every
kinder,
man,
calmer.
every true man is a true lover also. And every true lover loves who? First, of course, your mother, your sisters, then your wives, and then your daughters, and then all the daughters of the nation, and all the daughters wherever they are, and all the sisters wherever they are. I tell you that I love you, and I truly love you, and I care for you. And I advise you, I encourage you that ask yourself that if you are to become better moms and better sisters and better daughters, what are the responsibilities awaiting for you to take actions upon? You ask yourself, and you would know what my advice is. If we do not have better sisters, if we do not have better mothers, if we do not have better daughters, I tell you, we do not have the better society. I was born out of my mother's womb.
Mhm.
There was no other way for me to take birth or come into this world alive. There was no way for me. So you are my creator. All the women out there, either you are creating or you are going to create. The first creator was up there, and he remains the first creator, the ultimate creator. And in this world, you are the creators. So why don't you understand that the bigger responsibility lies in your lap, in this lap where your suckling kids are going to be knowing that how a person should be. It is your lap. Being a sister, you have to tell your brothers that how to become better brothers, and tell your sisters that how to become better sisters, and as a mother you have to tell your children that how to become better people, better human beings, better Muslims, better Pakistanis. It is you where the knowledge kicks start
Starts from.
this for this newborn baby. It is in your womb. It is in your belly that you see. I started to learn things. So don't forget that the responsibility, the bigger the responsibility, the bigger reward is awaiting for you. And so many people who question the life after this life must understand that somebody somehow has created this whole system for us. The whole system, even we were not born, but the system was there. We are speaking and we are talking about the whole world, but we are talking from this body and this mind which we have not created. We do not know that how it was created and where this was created, other than what we know that how it is created in this world, which we do not understand that how a person you, taking birth from you see a mother's womb has to become this person who would probably one day rule the whole world. We do not know how that becomes possible. We do not know that how that is embedded or controlled. We do not know. But what we know is very, very clear that the people who are responsible to grow this person, to nurture this person, to, to advise this person, to mentor this person, should understand that we are talking about life. First, it was our life. First, we need to understand that we need to remind people around us that what is their responsibility towards us. And then we need to understand that if we are reminding others, have we reminded ourselves first that what are our responsibilities towards others? And I tell you that I await those wonderful sisters and mothers and daughters who will create this wonderful nation. And wherever and whenever history has seen wonderful nations rising and doing miraculous things, it was because of their women taking up their responsibilities. And men, they simply followed. Why? They were their sons. They were not created out of men only. I mean, if somebody would ask me, being a person, that I have to choose someone in this whole world, this one person, you all know that this person cannot be a male person. You all know. Either I will choose my mother, my sister, my wife, my daughter. I can never ever choose any man over these female relations of mine. Why? Because to me they are everything. They are my creators. They are my dignity. They are my respect. They are my lovers. They are everything to me. Without them, I am nobody. Now I ask all those people I am referring to, do I have any significance in their eyes also? If they say yes, then I ask them, I plead to them, I beg to them that please, if you have certain significance, you think that I have certain significance in your eyes, then please understand that I am no one without you. I want you to become a better sister. I want you to become a better wife. I want you to become better mother and a wonderful daughter, because my existence depends on you. That's what I would tell all my wonderful mothers, sisters, daughters, and all those females out there, that they should understand that your character and how you conduct yourself is not you. You are a whole generation itself. Understand this. I am probably part of this whole game, but I am not as significant as you, because you are the one who initiates everything, and you are the one everything ends upon. So bear this responsibility. You will have the equal reward, inshallah azim.
Like now you're like really in the zones, like you're giving great answers. So like I get zoned out and I'm like, this other question does not relate to what we were talking about, but I'm still but I still have to ask them because I've written them down. So okay. Would you agree that it takes honesty, communication, and mutual respect to make a marriage work other than just love? I would agree. You were the one who was married,
No, I
so
do not agree with that, because I think that this part is flawed. There is no love without honesty. If honesty was not there, then this love is
so yeah,
flawed.
you agree, na? No, so you agree.
Yes, I agree, but I would say, I mean, I
You
disagree
phrase it
with
differently.
that if so-called love, which we are referring to, this is not there, then why talk about the other things? It was flawed all along. It was flawed.
So like it's connected now. Like if one thing is there, then the other should naturally be
You have
there as well.
communication anyway. If you have pure love, you will have communication anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are in love, truly in love, and you are a pure person, you are not a deceitful person, you are not a sinful person, and you know your boundaries, you know your morals, you know your values. I tell you, even if your surroundings or this bad self of yours tries to push you towards doing something bad, you will have unseen forces rescuing you, and you will have communication anyway. You will desperately try to save this relation, which is pure, because you know that this pure relation is precious. You are not going to get this relation every nook and corner of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You would respect this. You would try to save this relation, and probably sacrifice anything and everything you have to save that. And of course, it will include communication, it will include opening up, it will include exposing yourself, become vulnerable to your spouses and your loved ones, because you do not want your ego to eat away your wonderful relations, or your bad self to to consume your the best people around you, the people who truly love you. You would never allow that to happen. So I think honesty is something which is paramount to have in life, uh, if you want to build a character of any
Mm-hmm.
significance. Without that, you will have nothing. Your Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given you this example, which sometimes I would, with my shallow and small brain, I try to resemble with, you see, anything and everything, and I am unable to. I cannot understand, I cannot fathom, I have no brains to understand that our Prophet, Muhammad, peace be upon him, I mean, how he was able to get to a level of this level which he
Such
achieved.
pure honesty.
It was, and if he did, I mean, it was an open invitation for all the ummah and all the human beings, that you also can do that. And I believe that for us, especially so-called Muslims, it is not invitation, it is an order, it is a commandment on all of us, that we don't become simply Maulvis and pray 5 time prayers and you see tell everybody how wonderful people we are. We have to sow the seeds of honesty and truthfulness in this bad selves of ours. Now, whatever it takes, we must do that, because this is the only opportunity, this is the only chance we have, and we are the blessed in the whole history of humankind, I tell you. Because
How
before
so?
Prophet, peace be upon him, we had prophets and we had all the good people, but they did not have such a messenger, they did not have such a human being who had done things personally in front of people, done things which were miraculous to achieve. And people, they normally want to relate. Being a human being, I want to relate that, okay, who else can do this? What I am being invited to do that, or being I am being asked to do that. We are the blessed nation. We are the blessed people alive, that we have a messenger of Allah, our prophet, our beloved prophet, who has done, you see, everything to the level of acme or to the level of perfection. And the only thing we have to do is that read into his life, understand what he wants us to do, and whatever he said or did was, of course, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted him to do for us. The only thing we have to do is that follow, and follow blindly. I mean, what's wrong? If somebody is not telling you to do something bad, and no human being on this planet can tell you that anything Prophet, peace be upon him, said was wrong or bad, then why don't you simply follow that blindly?
Baba. Jasya, no. Can you
Probably
go?
just ask a
Came
question.
in. She randomly came in. 1 second, I have to mute myself.
Jaskia would ask me so many questions, and she would make me go numb every day, I tell you. For all listeners out there, because I want all these conversations to be very, very informal, and probably Zarnab is taking advantage of this informality, and she's trying to I won't say get rid of, but trying to keep Jasia out of her room. I think she's out now.
Yes, she's out. Comes away. I had to like grab her and take her away. She was not
Okay,
going.
okay.
She was like, मुझे भी question पूछना है.
That's
I'm
good.
like, no, you
That's
can't
good.
ask questions.
They should not be. They should not be made understand things which we can frankly and easily make them understand with. Why do we force them to understand certain things
What do you mean?
where very, very easy ways were available for us, right? And normally, what we do is we rebuke kids, we push them away, and we think that, oh, we're doing something very, very formal or wonderful, and then why they are interrupting? I mean, what's wrong? They are kids. Let them be kids. Let them
Yes, but
be- let them let them
she
use
honestly surprised me.
respect
I was
us.
like, do that to me. The next second, like the door slowly opened, and I'm like, what? And then she's there, like smiling. She's like, and then she like slowly walked, and I'm like telling her, no, don't come near me, but she still comes. So yeah,
That's
okay.
nice.
Next question.
I
What are
mean,
some What are some questions you would suggest people ask themselves before going into marriage or the idea of marriage? I think we've kind of covered it in like conversations
I
before.
think yes, we have, and we have elaborated those questions, I would say.
Yes. So like this is the last question. What if, as many describe, okay, like so like many describe that like they just knew, like they saw someone or like maybe like understood that someone like after some time, and they just knew, like it's like a gut feeling, like this is the person for me, you know. It's like, do you believe in that? Like, do you think that's something that's true, or like no?
No, it's not true.
Really? How
Yes,
so?
true. Exceptions aside, people with exceptional qualities and understandings aside, generally it is not true. Because generally, when we feel this, yes, our guts, recently even science says that our guts have brains, as our hearts does, and our brains, of course, are already brains.
But
Uh,
no, what if like your soul, heart, and like gut, everything is like this person? What
yeah,
about
still,
them?
yeah,
Still?
still,
Oh,
still
interesting.
no. Why? Because first you need to understand that this heart, brain, and guts combination of yours
Mm-hmm.
has said the same thing about other things also or not.
Mm-hmm.
For example, my wonderful brain, my wonderful heart, my wonderful guts have never told me that why I was born, what I should be, and how I should be conducting myself. I mean, the most precious person to me was me only, no? And this wonderful, elevated brain, heart, and guts combination never was very, very team like for myself. And suddenly it became for somebody else
Aligned.
aligned,
Mm-hmm.
and not only aligned, but now very, very informative and very, very truthful and very, very honest about somebody else. It never was honest, it was never very, very informative about myself. If it was, and it has been, then you are already a person in those exceptions, which I referred to earlier. And if it has not, then it is not what you think it is. So please do not listen to it. And first qualify. First ask this team of three wonderful organs to give some favors to you. Become honest to you. Do some good to you. The
Mm-hmm.
day this combination does you a favor of such kind, at least you can start to believe this
Trust
combination.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And believe you me, very soon you would know that yes, this combination tells me the right thing to take action upon. And this combination always takes me towards the right direction. And I have judged that, I have seen this, now I endorse this.
Experimented it,
Now I
tested it out.
can, yes, now I can probably depend on its judgment for others. And
Mm-hmm.
then probably I can go ahead with that.
Great. So that was the last question. So the next part is gonna be because I honestly when I announced that I was gonna do this, a lot of people like gave their personal questions about situations and stuff, and I thought that that would like plus these questions would be too long of like an episode. So the next part is gonna be like for people to ask their personal questions and then like in situations relating to the topic, and that will hopefully happen soon.
Uh, Let me interrupt you because I can read that some people they have asked questions in comments. So if there are
Yeah.
certain questions which you think that we can discuss and talk about, then we can pick some.
Oh, there are a lot. Oh my goodness. I just saw there are a lot. I don't know because I was not looking at the live on
Yeah, I
YouTube.
mean, if there are certain questions which we can personally answer and talk about, so we can talk to those people because most of them, of course, are either people I know or you know. And but if there is something which others they can also relate to and get some benefit out of, then we can discuss that.
Okay. But I will read these and then like tell you and like write them down and like as I said, the second part is where we will like answer those. So because it's already been 1 hour and 20 minutes
Yeah,
and
I think so. So what
yeah.
we do, the people listening, that your questions are well taken, and whatever questions Zarnab she would like to include in the next session, we can
I
try to.
will include all like good
Okay.
questions from here. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So, with that, I think I should thank you all, the people who listen to me, and I would like to apologize if I crossed some boundaries, or I became disrespectful towards somebody or some people or some groups of people. I am sorry to all of you, and I mean no offense. And I just want you, all of you, to take the positivity out of our conversation. And whatever negativities you felt, I'm sorry for
Write them
that.
in the comments.
And and
Express
you can
yourself.
talk about those negativities, and then probably we can talk about the positivities of those negativities later. Vishal?
Yeah, and in the cycle, I guess. All
So
right. So thank you, Father, for joining me once again on my on this session, and I hope everyone will enjoy the next interview, and I hope everyone enjoyed this one, obviously. So I did it. I enjoyed it.
so thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, everybody.